Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another video. So in this lesson we're just going to do a few things and then we're going to just test out what we've done so far. So first I'm going to actually come to, and let me have a look. We have the walk towards player. I'm not sure if we've actually tested this out as of yet, but let's just test it for now. So I'm just going to call that function in advance on player, and after both of these if statements, obviously this is just for testing, and I'm going to do the same in the retreat from player. So I'll just paste it in twice. Obviously we're not going to be walking towards if we're retreating, but as I said, just so we can test out this function. And I'm just going to grab the controller and we'll let this run through. And then once we've tested this out, we're going to actually add the code so the player can walk back, the opponent can walk backwards. So let's just quickly test this one out.
Round 1. Fight.
So as you can see, the walk towards player works fine. Obviously we'll need some code when they're in range to stop and choose an attack, but that's for later. So let's have a look. Where did I put this function? So let's have a look. Oh, it looks like we need to create. I thought I'd create this in the previous lesson, but never mind. And apologies for that. Let me just go back. And I'll just Control Z all the way back because we don't need those functions in place now. Sorry, I just dropped the control on the keyboard, but never mind, we'll continue on. So let's just create this function now. Walk away from the player. And obviously you can put this wherever you like. I'm just going to put it after retreat. Let's just copy and paste that naming convention in there and there as well. So now we have our case for it. Obviously it's going to show an error until we created the function. So again, after retreat from player, but you can put it wherever you like, private void, walk away from the player. We'll open and close and open and close brackets again. So we'll come to walk towards the player and we'll copy everything in this function, including the debug log. We might as well get that in place as well. So we'll just copy that into the debug log. And let's have a look. So the only line we should need to change is this one. So I'll delete everything apart from transform.position. And then I'll add after that minus, and now we can put the player's position, underscore player's position. Let's just change that in the comment. And again, we'll save that off and we'll call that function in all 4 places again. So let's test that out. We'll just save and we'll go through again.
Round 1.
So here we go. Let's see if we walk away. It might have gone to assessing the player. Let's have... Oh, did I make this? Let's have a look. Obviously, if the random range isn't between either of these 2 ranges, it's not going to work. So we'll just fix that. We'll just say it's equal, let's say, to 2. That way we know it's going to fall in the correct block. So we'll just run through it again. And we are going to actually do some work on assessing on the assessment block just as soon as we've tested this out.
Fight.
So as you can see, yes, the opponent walked away. So last time I ran this, let me just Control Z and get that back to a random range for now. It must have felt into the assess priority, which means we've got a value to either 4, 5, 6. So let's have a look at what we need to do now. So we'll come to assess the player now. And I'm going to change it from a void to an I enumerator. And we shall yield return a new wait for seconds. We'll open and close brackets, close the line off inside the brackets, assessing time. We'll just put into the comments, wait for this many seconds. I'll just put in brackets assessing time. And then we can, let me just have a look. Yes, we got the changing the bool, so we'll change it back. In fact, let's just copy that line. Assessing the player equals true. We'll just copy and paste that in. Get rid of the empty line. We'll set it to false. Tidy up and change that in the comment. So let's go up again. Call the assessing player. We need to change that. We'll come to the front. Start coroutine. Open bracket. Speech mark. Assessing the player. Speech marks, close bracket, close line. So let's now come back to initialize. In fact, to make sure we get it a correct value this time, we'll start up, we'll set it to 5 for now. Sometimes you have to do this when you're dealing with random ranges for testing, so that is fine. we'll just change it back afterwards.
Round 1. Fight.
So let's have a look. There we go. Assessing the player. Now look at the way it counts. If you notice, compared to what's been called, any of these functions, this one's going up quite slowly. And that because it sets the assessing to true and calls this function. We wait for this many seconds, during which it cannot be called again because we're returning if it equals true, which it does now. Then we set it back to false. It can then pass this if statement and call it again, which is why it was only called after this many seconds, the assessing time, which is what we want. And don't forget to Control Z, switch that back to a random range. And remember to get rid of these lines where we last off called the walk away from play function. Let's save this off. So now we are we have them all working. Now we'll probably add some more code to this because we'll need to decide an aggression priority again. See if we then, after assessing the player, retreats or advances. And we now have some movement in our opponent AI. So we began by obviously dealing with animations, and now we're starting to get some movement in the script. And what we'll continue this on, obviously. Now, do remember, you can change these ranges if you want a more aggressive fighter, a more defensive one, or one that just stands the ground, which is basically what assess priority is. And we'll pick this up in the very next lesson. Obviously, once the player is in range, we need to play attacks. We also need to decide if we're going to walk or jump forward and get the code in place for that. So I think we'll leave it here for this video. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to see you next time. And until then, as always, bye for now.